Hi everybody again, this is Shlomo again. So today I want to present to you part 2 of the video I started 10 days ago, I think it was, 11 days, about reality transurfing, what is really outer intention. And in the last video, we talked mostly about the simulation. And today, I will talk about vessels. And vessels are actually, call it the container where you prepare to get what you like to get from this reality, from the programmer, from the collective consciousness. Actually, it's from yourself, but we will get there. You know, by now I realize what an amazing group you are, and you know, so many of you reached out to me through email and messages and other methods, and reading your comments here, I realized that I can actually bring much more sophisticated and complicated concepts here because you are on board. That's very important. You know, in the Matrix, Morpheus said, what you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You have felt it your entire life. You felt that something is wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. What I will tell you here, hopefully, will remove that splinter. So, the vessels is probably one of the most important tools, as I said, for reality creation and controlling your life. Now, the name vessel, I borrowed it from the Kabbalah, even though in the Kabbalah it's used for a different purpose. But the vessel comes from there. See, when the programmer puts a new person here into this reality, into this simulation, he tells them, this is your personality, this is your body, okay? And here is the Play-Doh, this whole reality, this whole universe, okay? And you figure out the tools. This I'm not going to give you. You will have to figure it out yourself. You got potentially 120 years, so go and do it. Now, before I start, I want to empower you because as humans, we have a problem. We don't believe any of that. We just think that things are the way they are on the simplistic level. And whenever anybody comes and tells us, you know, you are capable, you can do this, you that, we have a very hard time to believe. And you don't have to blame yourself because in the Old Testament, when Moses went to God and he said to him that the Israelites want meat because they are tired of eating the manna, and God said, you know what? Tomorrow morning they will all get meat. Moses said to him, where are you going to get the meat from? So in essence, he did not believe God can deliver. God's answer was, you know, is God's arm too short? But if Moses didn't believe in God, after talking to him for many years, then don't blame yourself for not believing in all this. So in order to make you believe in it or help you believe in it, I will give you some background why things are the way they are. Because otherwise it's an abstract and it's easy to say, but it's very hard to really believe in it, right? So in order to do that, I must talk not just about the programmer, but also about God. Yes, the programmer is not the God you were told about. They are two different entities. Okay? I repeat that. The programmer is not the God that you know. The God that you know is, call it a superhuman being that the programmer inserted into this reality in order to set the tone and the direction for these intelligent humans. Otherwise, they would get lost. So everything that comes from there, the Ten Commandments and all the other directions that the God gives us, it's not from the programmer. Because the programmer, I would define it as the universal God. Okay? And it's not something that can talk to you or looks like a human or tells you, you cannot see my face. The programmer is everything. Everything in this universe, in this reality, is the programmer. Okay? And the programmer comes basically from nothingness. And everything here is the programmer's dream. But how the programmer experiences this whole thing is through humans, through you. Which means that the programmer enabled you, empowered you to achieve anything you want, because you are the only thing in this whole universe that creates the reality, and everything that you see was created by you. Any change in reality that ever happened is created by you. So you have all the power. It's just that you don't know it. You think that's, you pray and you do meditation and you think that you connect to some external power and that enables you to achieve, but it's not the case. Everything you do is just to empower, not to empower, but to enable you to use the power you have. Okay? So the power is all in you, all the abilities, because you are part of the programmer. So like I said, the God that he introduced here through the Old Testament is just part of the simulation. Okay? So I hope that you understand that you are it. There is nothing else. There are the rules that were installed here, and you cannot bypass those rules. Like I said before, gravity, self-destruction, longevity, those are fixed right now. They can be changed, but that's a different, that's not a different, just a different video. That's a different channel that I will create one day. So everything besides those rules that are fixed, you can create with vessels. You know that the ancient Egyptians, the pharaohs, created the pyramids that way because we cannot explain how it happened. And once they envisioned what they wanted, they created a vessel, manpower, materials, and so on, and it happened because they always had the power to do it. Can do anything. That's not against the rules. So, again, before I start here, you must stop thinking that there is some external power. There isn't. You are it. Bottom line, okay? That's also the reason why you should take responsibility for everything that happens to you. Because if you don't, and you blame luck and the blueberries and the manager, the employer, the boss, then if you don't believe that you caused your problems, then how can you believe that you will be able to create a reality or to manifest anything? It doesn't work. It's either you are in control or you are not. Now, keep in mind also that there is no difference between creating a vessel for $1 to get $1 and creating a vessel to get $1 million. There's absolutely no difference. It's the same thing. It's just that you may not believe that this is possible, and the other one is not possible. Okay, vessels. So vessels is basically everything that you execute, that you make happen. It can be good, it could be bad. Vessels work both ways. The vessels don't judge, and the programmer doesn't judge either. Whatever you request, that's what you get. I'll give you some examples. Like in reality transurfing itself is a vessel, because it tells you to do A, B, C, D, and you create a vessel there, right? And then you go with that vessel and you bring it to the programmer, and hopefully you get what you like, what you wanted. I'll give you some personal examples of vessels. I'll give you two of them. You know, I come from Israel, right? And I came to Canada a long time ago, more than 40 years. And when I came here, I decided one day, just out of the blue, that I want to go and live in a different place. And I figured North America would be a nice place to live. I actually wanted to go to the States, New York, but that didn't work out because of flights. So I landed in Canada. But I did not apply for immigration. I didn't prepare anything. I just sold all my stuff in Israel, and I bought a ticket, and I went to Canada. So I actually created a vessel. How did I create the vessel? I sold all my stuff. I bought a few things that I thought I would need. I saved some money, and I bought a plane ticket, and I arrived here. And there I just took that vessel, and I put it out, and I said, okay, I want to stay in this place. I want to live here. And you know what? I'm here. Many miracles and things happened. But once I created the vessel, that reality actually manifested. So that's one example. Another example, that's already in Canada, here in Vancouver. I had a partner, and we had a business, and we sold it. And I was bored and very active at the time. I wanted to do something, so I said, you know what, Niels, we don't know what to do, right? But we want to do something. Why don't we rent an office and sit there from 9 to 5? So we did that. We rented an office. We had absolutely no plan what we want to do. Of course, we had money. We sold the business, so it wasn't financially, it was okay. So we rented this office. And you know what? At some point, we actually hired a receptionist secretary to sit there with us. And I told her, you can read newspapers, you can do whatever you like, because right now we don't have anything. But when we start doing something, then I expect you to actually deliver. But for now, don't feel bad if you come and bring a book. And that's how we started that business. And it became that's actually what became the cellular company, Fido. Because sitting there for so many hours a day, except we went maybe for 2-3 hours lunch, we started to think and call and connect. And before you know it took maybe a month or two, we started a new business. So that's another example of creating a vessel, right? Now, thoughts are also vessels. Because if I go back to my immigration story, right? Where did it all start? It started with a thought. I had the flu, and I kind of had time to think because I was sick for a week. I didn't do anything. And I created a virtual vessel that later I filled up with physical things, right? So in essence, everything in life that you do, you can equate it to a vessel. And it's easier to think about it that way because I think it's easier to execute when you look at something defined. And a vessel is a defined thing. It's not like some hot air that you manifest with something, right? Now, like I said, it works both ways. So if you decide to have the victim syndrome and you play that everything is against you and everything is wrong and everybody is hurting you, you create a vessel which basically gets filled up with what you request. So then your life becomes like that. So it works both ways. But I think that when you realize that you have the power and you realize that vessel is the tool to do it, I think it will empower you and give you, it will give you a lot of tools to use your personality in your body and make some very interesting stuff with that Play-Doh that God gave you, the programmer gave you when you were born. Now I'll tell you something funny here. There is this joke, there's a question saying that when you go to have surgery, right, you go and you check the surgeon, like you read about him, reviews, like how many people did he kill, how many... Because why? Because your life is in his hands, right? But when you fly on an airplane, your life is in the pilot's hands, but you don't go and check the pilot, like to see how good that pilot is. And the reason for that is because he flies with you. The doctor doesn't fly with you. If you die, you die. He still goes home for dinner. Now, why I'm telling you this is that I am flying with you too. Everything I tell you, I actually do. And my plan, my goal of changing the world, I actually use the same tools. And I arrived at the point today where I actually can do things that if you told me a couple years ago, I would not believe I can do. And I will actually bring it in maybe in the next video. I'll tell you some the actual way to do it. There's a certain way that, like I said, it took me a long time to get there, how you can make something happen, and it doesn't matter how crazy it is, okay? There are no limits. But there is a way to do it. And I'll get into it. I don't think we have time here. All right. I think that for today, that's all I wanted to tell you. I just wanted to talk about these vessels. So it's not as long a video as the last few. And as I promised, I wasn't planning to do it, but I will give you this concept. Okay, I told you in the previous video that I can only bring you to the water and you have to figure out by yourself how to drink it, but I will actually show you some ways to drink it as well. So until next time, enjoy the summer. Thank you.